Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's me here at a time that I'm not normally broadcasting, but I thought I'd get this one out right now just because we just heard some news that Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who there's been much speculation on how he might have met his demise. The Washington Post and a couple other outlets have just put out the news that he suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes. Now, let me get the correct thing up here real quick. There we go. And this is just from the Washington Post, just tweeted it out about 30 minutes ago, maybe 40 minutes ago. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who engaged out again. Let me just give you a little caveat here. This is the Washington Post, so you're gonna just expect some little zips and zings here and there because they don't like this story. Okay, and we'll go into Twitter and kind of look how people are looking at it, because I noticed that I thought it'd be trending a lot sooner on Twitter. It is trending now. It took a while, which is surprising because it's all over Twitter right now. But anyway, Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who engaged rioters, suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes, officials say. Interesting. They put officials say. Do they not believe the officials? I don't know. Capitol Police Officer Brian. Okay. It seems to be on all internet, or lately, even journalistic outlets like to repeat their title in their first sentence. So Capitol Police Officer Brian D. Sicknick suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes a day after he confronted rioters at the January 6th insurrection. They're still using that word. The great, mighty 4-hour insurrection where half the people were let in by other police officers. But anyway, it was a shitty day for people who were doing what they were doing. Let's just put it that way. But that's according to the district's chief medical examiner. The ruling released Monday. It was released yesterday. Weird. It is today. Okay. The ruling released Monday. Released Monday likely will make it difficult for prosecutors to pursue homicide charges in the officer's death. Oh, you think? I'm just curious why it took, 3 months? 3 months and a week or so to get this information out? Are you kidding me? But 2 men are accused of assaulting Sicknick by spraying a powerful chemical irritant at him during the siege. So apparently either mace or bear spray or whatever the hell it was he did, right? Anyway, so let's see. In an interview with the Washington Post's Francisco J. Diaz, here, hang on a second here. Goodness gracious, what the hell am I doing? Sorry, this was very impromptu of me, so I'm not 100% prepared. Okay. In an interview with the Washington Post, Francisco J. Diaz, the medical examiner, said the autopsy found no evidence the 42-year-old officer suffered an allergic reaction to the chemical irritants. Interesting. Which Diaz said would have caused Sicknick's throat to quickly seize. Diaz also said there was no evidence of internal or external injuries. Now, this is the guy that a lot of people were trying to say, oh, he's the guy they hit with a fire hydrant. Remember they tried to, but he had no injuries. Anyway, Sicknick collapsed after returning to his office during the riot and died about 8 hours later on January 7th. So he apparently had a stroke on the 6th, and because it said he had 2 strokes. Feel bad for the man. Still, he was still not, he was just out there doing his job. Anyway, Diaz said Sicknick suffered 2 strokes at the base of the brainstem caused by a clot in an artery that supplies blood to that area of the body. Diaz said he could not comment on whether Sicknick had pre-existing medical condition, citing privacy laws. Sicknick was among hundreds of officers who confronted the violent mob that took over the Capitol seeking to overturn the election Donald Trump had lost. Now that's an interesting statement. Were they seeking to overturn it, or were they just trying to get them to stop the count and be more accurate? Who knows? It's interesting. They still want to call it an insurrection. The great American 4-hour insurrection. Early in February, the officer who grew up in South River, New Jersey, was honored by the U.S. Capitol. His remains were interred at Arlington National Cemetery. Police said that Sicknick, who joined the Capitol Police in 2008, collapsed after he had returned to his office following the riot and was taken to the hospital where he died. The case is being investigated by D.C. police, who handled all deaths in the district, along with Capitol Police and the FBI. And then they just go on recapping a lot of things that happened that day. Now, it's fascinating because as I go on to Twitter, and you look up this thank you, Uncle Hotep, for retweeting me going live here. I appreciate it. Also, Jaeger Pony and Renee Mayette. But if you're on, retweet this, please. Retweet this. So we're going to go on Twitter and just kind of see how this is being treated. Now, it's fascinating. Like I said, when I checked a half hour ago, this was not trending. Of course, obviously, the Derek Chauvin trial is going to be trending. Tommy Vlog, content creator Tommy Innit releases a new vlog episode on YouTube. That's trending ahead of Brian Sicknick. Doge Day leads Rolling Loud. Alex Smith. In fact, here's my prediction. This is going to trend for a very short time on Twitter, and then they're going to curate as they curate their trending tabs. I think this is going to be curated right off of Twitter. I just think that way because this is not part of the narrative. It doesn't fit. This is not something they want to talk about because they were so invested in Sicknick his demise being due to the insurrection. Oh wait, let me just say that word correctly. Hold up here. Let me fix that. What I'm saying there. Because of the insurrection. The 4-hour insurrection. And notice too, if you can see my screen here, I have it. Let's see, where's my cursor? Okay, it's right here. So when you click the trending tab for Twitter, who do they go to first? Of course, they go to the Washington Post. Now, is it because the Washington Post broke the news, or is it because when you read a Washington Post article about this, you're going to get a whole lot of extra stuff about the hang on. Insurrection. That has a little bit too much echo, doesn't it? Good Lord. Maybe let's try a different one. Let's try this one. Insurrection. Okay, that's a little better. Anyway, so and so they look. Let's read the rest of the Washington Post article because let's just give you an idea how they want to shape this and continue to shape this story because obviously they're all their whole mission life is to be against Trump and against Republicans, against the right and things like that. So, let's see, this is where I left off. Acting U.S. Attorney General Jeffrey A. Rosen said in a January 8th statement. Now look, why are we even talking about what he said in a January 8th statement? What he said in a January 8th statement is now rendered perhaps completely irrelevant. But let's see what he said. Officer Brian Sicknick recalled his shared humanity. Acting U.S. Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen said in a January 8th statement that Sicknick died of injuries he suffered defending the U.S. Capitol. Seems moot now. He promised that local and federal authorities would spare no resources in investigating and holding accountable those responsible. Well, you know what? Seems to me by January 8th, they already knew what happened to him. I gotta assume they did an autopsy. Now remember, they did an autopsy and he was cremated and his ashes laid in state and they buried him in Arlington. But so this is not new information to them. They've had this information since before they buried him. So why would they wait till now? Why 3 months later? Why didn't they? Because they needed the narrative. They needed their narrative. Then the Capitol Police had previously said in a statement that Sicknick was injured while physically engaging with protesters, but then they found out that he wasn't injured. He had no injuries, other than maybe his eyes were burning a little bit. Chris Geldhart, the district's acting deputy mayor of public safety, but anyway, said Monday the medical examiner's office took the appropriate amount of time to evaluate all the evidence in Sicknick's death, which he said included reviewing video statements from officers and the results of toxicology screens. Well, the toxicology screens were from how long ago? But I can see maybe they were reviewing some of the evidence, but what? They finally talked to some doctors that tell you that bear spray and a stroke probably aren't related. They knew about the blood clot in his brain, or that from the stem of his neck, this whatever, that made it into his brain after the autopsy, and they cremated him. They've known that all along. Why are they waiting 3 months later? I don't get it. And then Geldhart said Diaz felt he was able to make this call in good conscience. Well, good for you. In March, 2 men were accused of assaulting Sicknick with chemical spray during a riot. At the time of the arrest, the autopsy had not been completed. How could that be? How could the autopsy not have been completed when they've already cremated him? Can anyone explain that to me? Maybe are any medical people in my chat right now? By the way, thanks for dropping in. I know this is an impromptu stream. It probably won't be that long. I do have a couple other stories that are fairly new, or maybe we'll just run through Twitter and see what else is trending that we care about. Obviously, the Chauvin closing arguments, the prosecution there did their first round in this morning. The defense did a very long one. I'm not even sure if they're done yet. It was so long, and then the prosecution comes back and gets to rebut the defense. And boy, that's a tale of two cities when you're trying to determine whether he's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt or not. If there's reasonable doubt, it just kind of depends on what team you're on. It seems like, for whatever reason, who knows? Julie Ellie Cater, 32, of Pennsylvania, and George Pierre Tanios, 39, of Morgantown, West Virginia, grew up together in New Jersey, authorities said. Arrest papers allege that Cater and Tanios were at the Lower West Terrace of the Capitol at 2:14 p.m. on January 6, where Sicknick and other officers were standing behind metal bicycle racks. "Give me that bear shit," Cotter said to Tanios on a recorded video, according to court documents. About 9 minutes later, those documents say, after Cotter said she had been sprayed with something, Cotter is seen in a video discharging a canister of a toxic substance in the face of Sicknick and 2 other officers. Now, I think they think that was bear spray, but I like how they just change it to a toxic substance. In a statement after Sicknick died, his family said, "Brian is a hero, and that's what he would like people to remember." The family that said that at the time, the direct causes of his injuries were unknown. You know, though, okay, there were members of his family who were already, the day he passed away, mentioned stroke, that the doctors told him stroke, but they weren't allowed. And then all of a sudden they just disappeared. No one talked to them. And there was this big hubbub about a big mystery about, well, it wasn't a mystery. There was a big steaming pile of, crap about what happened to him. People speculating, oh, he got beat to death. Some people were saying he got beat to death with a fire extinguisher and then was and died at the scene, taken away in an ambulance. Well, no, that didn't happen. That was false in the first place. And then, so Sicknick grew up in New Jersey. Okay, wait, what is it? Oh, I'm sorry. In a statement after he died, Brian's a hero. Oh, Sicknick grew up in New Jersey, in a New Jersey borough south of New Brunswick, where the youngest of three brothers. He's survived by his siblings Ken and Craig, his parents Charles and Gladys Sicknick, and his companion of 11 years, Sandra Garza. Now, they're adding all this stuff. Senator Cory Booker paid tribute to Sicknick on the Senate floor on January 19th, saying the officer understood that wearing that uniform and wearing that badge, that you had a sacred duty to protect this sacred space. Look, and then they just get into some more details about him. I mean, this goes a little farther about his Air National Guard duty, whatever. Yeah, Sicknick, I feel bad for Officer Sicknick, what happened to him. But he's been being used by those who will dance on graves to create a narrative. And it's very disappointing. But now we know the truth. We know the truth. He didn't die by being beaten with a fire extinguisher or, die for injuries. So now, here's what's fascinating. Now, none of the deaths on that day, because apparently, the one lady, they said they thought got trampled or something. Didn't they? Isn't there something out there about her demise was something else too? I gotta check that out. I'm wondering about that. But anyway, all right, let me do it real quick. Say hi to everybody. Hello, Boy, Mike Savage, Blarg, Seograth, thanks for dropping in. Jay Wolf, what's up? Rusty Shaq, nice to see you. Nice to see you during the day, right? My day. I don't know if it's your day. Gilded Liberty, John Migda, what's up? Good morning to Snoopy. What's happening? Teresa the Kid. Oh my God, everybody! Just about. There are not a whole lot here, but the fun crew here is Cryptic's in the house. How you doing, Cryptic? Nice to see you. That is fantastic. All right, cool. That's about everybody who's here, I think. And there's probably a couple of you lurking out there. I don't even know how many people are here. Tarai Deos, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thanks y'all for dropping in. There's 24 of you. Well, y'all hit the like button. That always does good. And throw a comment in the comment section later. So let's take a look at what what the hellhole, also known as Twitter, looks like. Now, where was it? It was trending number 11 a little bit ago. Oh, now it's up to 9. Okay, so let's click on Sicknick here and let's just take a gander at what people are saying. So obviously Twitter decides that their Washington Post article has to be at the top. This is being curated. That's why the top story. Maybe now they already have 712 comments. Let's just go into their comment section first, because I'm sure this will be what's the word? Educational, maybe? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see what people are saying. Okay, Rosanna Arquette. Oh my God, no. Why, Rosanna Arquette? Why, Miss Act? Is it because it takes away from the narrative? I'm curious what Rosanna Arquette was talking about this before. Or does she not even realize that this is the guy they deified and had him lying in state? Does she know that this is someone who died on January 7th or whatever, that he's already been buried. This is not new news other than the cause of death. No, now the very next one, he was sprayed with bear repellent. That's what caused the strokes. He ingested a harmful chemical. Really? Apparently you didn't read the article. That is unreal. Look, and also maybe she doesn't understand what a stroke is. Okay, except for, well, never mind. I'm not going to go there. Let's see if it would have replied to her. He was beaten with a fire extinguisher. I thought it was a fire extinguisher. No, it wasn't. Catch up. None of it happened at all. Those were just rumors. His family debunked all those stories months ago. Yeah, I think his brother came out pretty early on and said that, they thought it was a stroke. Hello, People's Front of Canada, and hello, Keenan. What's happening? Yes, but we have to know some people intentionally instigated them to do that to him. This is really sad. Do what to him? What are they replying to? Oh, he was sprayed with bear repellent. That's what caused the stroke. No, bear repellent does not cause strokes. God, stupid people. All right, so let's check out what other people are saying. Let's see. Oh no, let's stay with the Washington Post commenters because this was the first outlet to put this out there. This result denies Officer Sicknick's family workers' compensation death benefits. Hope the family seeks a second autopsy opinion. Ms. Smith, I think it's too late for that. Seeing as the autopsy was done 3 months ago and then he was cremated. Unless they can probably go through the pictures and stuff, but they even said at the time that he had no visible injuries, no head trauma. But they didn't tell you what he died of. And now we know what he died of two strokes, one after the other. Two strokes caused by blows to the head, maybe? How the fuck is that natural? He had zero head trauma. That's how. Good Lord. The beating and gassing had nothing to do with it. He would have died when he did anyway. Who was this? George Floyd's medical examiner? No, this would be the Capitol head medical examiner in Washington, D.C. Not natural causes when he was subjected to high-pressure environment by the insurrectionist. High blood pressure can trigger strokes. Well, maybe some stress of his job could have caused that. But what was the mechanism of the strokes? He likely would not have died on January 7th had he not been attacked on January 6th. This was hardly natural causes. We need a thorough investigation, and the public isn't going to swallow these smokescreens. Why would the Washington Post, of all news outlets, why would the Washington Post, obviously, pushing any theory that the insurrectionists, they want that to be the truth. They want that to be something else. They want it to be the cause of death being the insurrection. So I'm sorry. No, that's not it. But people are very upset. Boy, they're saying, oh my God, bear spray is now a contributing factor to natural causes. Who knew? No, that's what they're saying. It wasn't the bear spray. He was murdered by pro-Trump insurrectionists, you mean? No, this is your Blue Anon fantasy, though. Hashtag Blue Anon. People are very upset that this was not a result of the insurrection. Oh, they could pursue felony murder charges, which means Officer Sicknick died in close proximity as a result of stopping persons committing felonies in discharge of his duties. That happened in the Centennial Olympic Park bombing in Atlanta. Felony murder charges were pursued as... I'm not going to read the rest of that shit. Shut up. 2 fire hydrants... No, wait a minute. Hold this one here. 2 fire hydrants to the back of the head. Worst case of suicide I've ever seen. Fire hydrants? You must have had like someone from one of those strongman competitions if it was fire hydrants. My God. Anyway, people are really upset that this was natural causes and they can't blame it on the insurrection. Sorry. I should probably stop doing that. That's because I don't want to put that on the memory of Brian Sicknick. That's not really my purpose here. But I just, I find it fascinating that people are so invested in it being the insurrection. So here's how my favorite morning read, the Ace of Spades, writes about it. Breaking: DC medical examiner determines Brian Sicknick died of natural causes, specifically from strokes. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick suffered strokes, died of natural causes, according to the DC medical examiner. Pretty much the same thing as the Washington Post here. Robbie Starbuck says Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick died the day after January 6th of natural causes due to 2 strokes. The medical examiner also says that he had no internal or external injuries. I think I just said that. The entire media narrative about Trump voters killing an officer on January 6th was a lie. It's sick how they use Sicknick's death to try to cast every Trump voter as an extremist. Most never went inside that day. Rarely discussed is the fact that Sicknick was also a Trump voter. Dems used his death anyways to smear a whole movement of people just like Officer Sicknick. Well, I didn't know he's a Trump voter. I had no idea. So the 4-hour insurrectionists now officially killed 0 people, and the mostly peaceful protesters who've been protesting for more than a year have killed quite a few more than 0. Meanwhile, before calling for violence against police and civilians if the jury does not convict Derek Chauvin, Maxine Waters asked for a police escort to protect her when she came to Minnesota. I did not know that. New documents obtained by Town Hall show Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters requested an armed police escort to Minneapolis over the weekend, where she called for violent activists to stay in the streets during a protest against law enforcement. Waters flew from Dulles International Airport to Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport on Saturday, April 17th, just days ahead of the verdict in the George Floyd officer Derek Chauvin trial. That night, Waters went to meet with protesters and demanded a guilty verdict for Chauvin, or else. I know this, so we've got to stay in the streets, Waters said to a group of activists. We are looking for a guilty verdict. She misspoke. If nothing does not happen, then we have not only stay in the streets, but we have to fight for justice, she continued. I'm very hopeful I hope we are going to get a verdict that is guilty, guilty, guilty. And if we don't, we cannot go away. And documents are at the link. I don't know what that means. So they linked this Town Hall article. New documents obtained by Town Hall shows Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters requested an armed police escort to Minneapolis over the weekend. Oh, the irony. Jack Gunsky, what's happening? Good morning, good afternoon, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian. And there's the rest. I think I'm kind of caught up on who's in the chat. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Well, that again. Oh, the irony. The irony. So anyway, let's see. Let me see if anything else is trending. That's about all there is on that. So I know there's a whole bunch of information on the Chauvin trial. Maybe I'll get into that tomorrow because I watched, let's see. Unfortunately, I didn't see the prosecution's closing remarks in the first part because I was doing my show, obviously. And, but I did spend most of the afternoon watching the defense lay out their part. And so I don't really know how to compare the two. But again, it seems like this is another one of those events that people see what they want to see and aren't really interested in hearing the other side. And so it's funny because I made the mistake of watching it on the NBC live stream. So they had all these people, pundits and stuff in between during the breaks. And it was so incredibly one-sided as, their opinions and how the prosecution just did fantastic and the defense didn't, they were really long and they laid out this thing and I don't even know how that could even come close to working. I don't know. If you don't think there's reasonable doubt on that one, on at least a couple of the charges, because especially the felony murder one, it's like you have to believe that Derek Chauvin intentionally assaulted George Floyd when everything he was doing was part of the training he did. Now even if he did it poorly, it's part of the training, and that's how they're and there's all kinds of factors as to why they didn't do better reviving him, although I think that's the part that his liability starts, is that they didn't pay attention to what was happening under them. They're so busy paying attention to the people around them, and so he didn't know that George Floyd died underneath him and didn't get in the reviving. Now, granted, they were supposed to have ambulances there too, though. The fire station where the ambulance comes from is only 3 minutes away, and unfortunately, when they sent for the bus, so to speak, the ambulance went the wrong way. And so it took them more time than they should have to get there. Even the person there was an off-duty paramedic that testified, and even she said that why weren't they there? Why did it take them so long to get there? Well, they went the wrong way. They had a mistake in the dispatching, and so even that, if that would have gotten there in time, maybe they could have revived George Floyd, or maybe if there wasn't a crowd around them and they weren't so focused on the crowd, they would have gone into procedures to try and revive him. But man, but that is the one charge, the least. I mean, they're all serious charges, but the least of the charges is probably the only one that they could get a conviction on. I don't think the felony murder charge, and that's what they're demanding, murder charges. Maxine Waters was demanding that it's murder. If it's anything less than murder, and then she says, I don't know if it's first degree or whatever degree. I would say first degree murder, but that's whatever. Well, first degree murder wouldn't stand a chance. There's no chance this is the first degree. First degree murder in Minnesota is premeditated intentional murder. And all the charges in this one are 3 types of unintentional murder, but one can be considered felony murder if it's in the act of committing a felony. So the hard part they're having is to prove that Derek Chauvin was committing felony assault against George Floyd. In the act of doing his job, that's a really, really tough one. I don't know how they think they can get that one by. And so, I don't know. But I think the least of the charges is probably they're probably going to find him guilty of at least one of the charges is my guess. All right, let's go back into 23 more hours and I get my Facebook back. Oh, Richo, by the way, good afternoon. Well, isn't it early morning for you? I don't even know idea what time it is for you. It's probably, I don't know. Is it close to midday for you or something like that? You're coming up on noon Australia time? I don't know. But you're going to get your Facebook back. We'll see how long that lasts, right? Anyway, all right. Let's see what else is breaking on Twitter, and then we'll check it out. Let's go to the Explore tab here. So the other, Derek Chauvin trial has moved to #1 on trending. Jury deliberations begins. So they did finish up the closing arguments. I haven't really seen anything. Let's see. Let's just go to let's just go to the hashtag and see what kind of fresh hell we're going to see on this. Robert Barnes, who does, he's not just an internet lawyer, but he is a actual practicing lawyer. Hello, Sicknick. How you doing? Who actual practice? Oh, and Cannibalistic Wizard here, Assassin of Grey. All kinds of people showing up. What's up, Hyman Lyman too? Oh, I missed a whole bunch of. Hello, Kessler. Hello. I said Teresa the Kid. I already did that. Okay, I'm catching up. Anyway, Robert Barnes says after closing arguments, odds in betting markets go up on acquittal. Interesting. Which means I'm going to be able to probably see the fires from my house. Wayne Dupree, Waters looks to have possibly hurt the Derek Chauvin trial, flapping her chops according to her inflammatory statements from the past weekend. Hashtag George Floyd. If you don't follow Wayne Dupree on Twitter, you should. The Wayne Dupree Show. Also, Kerosene Maxine will probably appear on MSNBC in the next 3 to 4 hours to walk back her inflammatory statements. But here's the situation. She should have never been there. She picked the wrong time to act like who she is. That's a bell-worthy statement if I've heard one today. What's funny is because the jury has not been sequestered. I wouldn't be shocked if there was a mistrial. If I were the defense both, I think the prosecution and the defense should have been huddling with the judge after she made those statements, because that could taint, if they get any wind of what Auntie Maxine was saying, that would definitely taint the jury pool. That was awful. Let's see, breaking. Judge, hold on. Whoa, breaking. 23 minutes ago, judge in Derek Chauvin trial just told the defense attorney, quote, "I'll give you that Congresswoman Waters may have given you something on appeal that may result in this whole trial being overturned." Wow. Is Harris Faulkner still with Fox, or what is she? Yeah, she's still on Outnumber FNC. Is that still going on? It's funny. I didn't even know if it's going on. So that's amazing. There was betting on the Odette trial. Yeah, they bet on trials. They'll bet on anything in the casinos. There are betting markets on this. Wow. I'll give you that Congresswoman Waters may have given you something on appeal that may result. Wow, that's wild. Martin Luther King III. For 3 weeks, the world watched the Derek Chauvin trial. Today, we heard the closing arguments. Let's take a moment to pray for the Floyd family and send them strength and love. That's a nice message. In any case, you gotta pray for that family. No one ever said that George is a saint, but he has a family that loves him and are hurting right now, regardless of what the verdict is. I wholly agree with that sentiment. Now here's a sentence though that that is one that you're hearing over and over. Whoever this person is, this is a blue check mark. Laker Nation, something. She must be a Laker girl or something. I'm praying for justice. I'm expecting justice. We demand justice. Derek Chauvin trial. So let me ask you a question, Kari Champion. What if justice is Derek Chauvin being acquitted? Could that be justice? Just curious. So, in here, when I was little, I was scared. My mother always told me, look for the helpers. Convict Chauvin, hashtag convict Chauvin. The people having trouble understanding Mr. Floyd being claustrophobic in the back of the police cruiser are the same people claiming that little paper masks make them claustrophobic. No. And who's having trouble understanding Mr. Floyd being claustrophobic? He fought his way out of the police car. Okay, he didn't want to be put in the police car. He wasn't claustrophobic in the car that he was in when when they came to get him, right? So if he's claustrophobic, that's irrelevant. All it is about the reason he fought out of the police car and why the officers had him on the ground instead of in the car. Why didn't they? The big question I keep hearing: why didn't they put him in the police car? Because he resisted being put in the police car. And I can't, you know what? That's a dumb question. The question is whether or not Derek Chauvin committed a felony murder based on which they would have to prove that he did a felony assault. I don't think they're going to get that. They might get the third charge. The first two, I don't think so. And not because I want it that way or I want it the other way. I just listened to the evidence, and those two charges don't fit this case. I'd imagine he was trying to do his job. Jerry Blackwell closes the prosecution's case. You were told, for example, that Mr. Floyd died because his heart was too big. The truth of the matter is that the reason George Floyd is dead is because Mr. Chauvin's heart was too small. Oh, aren't we poetic? His heart wasn't too big. It was filled with fluid. It was 2.5 times its normal weight. That could have some bearing on whether or not you can breathe. That's from the autopsy. I didn't make that up. Defense played audio of crowd. You're enjoying this. Is he breathing now? Defense then said, body language can tell you a lot. Could that be interpreted to mean that eyewitnesses interpret his body language correctly? Well, that's easy to do when you're the crowd yelling at the police and they're trying to keep their eyes focused on anything but what they're doing because you're yelling at them. So, but, I don't know. It's funny. And Mama was his girlfriend, not his mom. That's what he called his girlfriend. So we didn't know that until this trial. So, and this is annoying, okay, when people do this kind of bullshit. This is a reasonable police officer. So they catch 1 split second here and they catch 1 split second here. What does that even mean? They caught a split second of, I better not go there. You can catch a split second of the Covington Catholic kids. Right? That split second photograph of the smirk heard around the world. And what did that turn out to be? It turned out to be one of these. So, who knows? I don't have a law degree, but Eric, these videos aren't helping. I don't know. Oh, somebody tell Derek Chauvin's lawyer what a crowd in crisis looks like. Oh, see, they got their one photo here. Really? Do you really want... They show this picture and this picture. Here's something else that people got to stop doing. People have to stop comparing completely unrelated events, or have to stop comparing an event that happened in Washington State, for example, or that happened in one Atlanta place versus one place that happened in South Carolina versus this place there and this. All of these different jurisdictions are different and different situations. Every situation is unique. You cannot take one picture of one thing. They like to, for example, they love to compare when a kid is, for example, the kid was shot. What's this kid in Chicago? Toledo, whatever that kid's name, because I don't know his name. So the Toledo kid, they're comparing the Toledo kid being shot in Chicago with Kyle Rittenhouse not being shot in Kenosha, Wisconsin. There is nothing remotely the same about those two events. Nothing. Okay? Rittenhouse was protecting someone's property, shot some people, most likely in self-defense. My opinion, self-defense, by the videos that you can see, versus a 13-year-old out at 2:15 in the morning with a 21-year-old possible Vice Lords member shooting guns in cars in the middle of the night and then running away with a gun that seems to be conveniently left out of the picture every time. All they show is that he turned around and his hands got up as he was being shot. Well, there's a whole lot more that went on with that. But you cannot compare those two events at all. There is nothing similar about the two events. And people love doing this. Or this kid was shot, but Dylan Roof was taken alive and taken to Burger King. Or they got him food at Burger King. See, they like to say they took him to Burger King. No, they got him food from Burger King, which is not unusual. When the D.C. Sniper and the kid were arrested, they fed that kid too and took him alive. I could give you thousands of black people who've been taken alive. But when you see a shooting, the first thing people want to know is, oh, I wonder if he was white or black. Oh, he got taken alive. He must be white. Huh. Austin and what was the other one? In Kenosha, they were both taken alive. Must be white. Nope, they were both black. Wait a minute. Kid shot with the kid had a toy gun. He was shot in the driveway. Must have been black. No, he was white. Every case is different. Every case is unique, and you cannot compare one case in Nashville to one case in Beaumont, Texas. You can't compare one case in Los Angeles to one case in New York City. They're all going to be different. They're all going to have different reasons for happening. And so stop doing that shit. But you're going to see it every time. They're going to find pictures of this and that. They're completely unrelated. The jury waiting for Eric Nelson to shut up so they can find Chauvin guilty. I don't think so. He did. The judge, though, taking a break in the middle of the defense's summation was pretty interesting. I had never seen that before, but probably because it was going into about 2:00 and they ended up doing a half-hour recess for lunch because they hadn't eaten yet. So the judge seemed to be annoyed, but like I said, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Anything else is interesting? Good guy, Keem. I don't know about that. I'm not going to look. Judge Cahill, that's from the trial. Oh, did you hear all about any soccer fans out there? Football? The other football, not our football. Anyone out there? Are soccer fans? What do you think of this? What do you think of this Super League that they're putting together? A bunch of teams in the different European leagues decided to create a new Super League. What do they call that Super League? Anyone know offhand? Let's see. Is it in here? It's probably in. Oh, no, bleeds for. That's a game. That's what's going on now. Officer Sicknick still only at number 9 trending. I wonder how long it'll be before they remove Officer Sicknick from the trending page. Oh, well, I spoke too soon. Oh my God. In real time, folks. What did I just say about Officer Sicknick? They would curate Officer Sicknick out of the trending. Here we go. There's Derek Chauvin trial. He was number 9, not here yet. Oh, he's up to number 7. Never mind. I thought for sure they'd done it already. Yeah, some kind of, what do they call that new league? They're going to have a new soccer league in Europe, and several of the best teams have left their respective leagues to join this new league. Oh, the other one thing that happened today is Parler. Apple has approved Parler return to the App Store. And boy, are people mad about that. Holy shit. Here it is right here. Parler. Here it is. Let's see. Brian Funk, Apple has approved Parler to return to the App Store, according to a letter from Apple to Congress obtained by CNN. And like, who was it? Sleeping Giants were pissed. You know who Sleeping Giants are. They're the ones who try to get everyone's, here, I'll put it on the screen. They try to get everyone banned. Like, they don't like it. They try to go after people's advertisers and stuff. And so Apple will let Parler back to the App Store. March 31st, Senator Mike Lee and I sent a letter demanding answers about why Apple removed Parler to the App Store. Today received a response. Parler will be reinstated to the App Store. Huge win for free speech. I'm still on Parler, but I haven't had any engagement on there whatsoever, although I don't really try to get engagement on there. Does anyone use Parler? That's a good question, Tim. Tim Poole asking, does anyone use Parler anymore? I don't think so. Here's Glenn Greenwald. First, this is a lie. Parler had terms of service from the start and enforced them, though imperfectly, like all sites. They deleted many posts construed as pro-violence. Second, a group devoted to the internet censorship is creepier and more dangerous than what they want to censor. Yeah, that's Sleeping Giant. So here's what Sleeping Giant said. I saw this earlier. Parler has made its entire product around allowing anyone to say anything. Oh my God! They let anyone say anything? Oh, the horror. Is this now not the case? And if it is the case, how does the App Store enforce their policies moving forward? I don't know. Why do you care? The app was a huge part of planning the insurrection. No, it wasn't. Facebook was. Remember that they had already arrested about 140 people after the Capitol riots or whatever. They had arrested 140 people, and only 3 of them even had a Parler account, and none of them really used it. It was not organized or planned on Parler, you lying crackpot. It has leaked the data for all its users. Leaked the data, or it was hacked? Oh my God, you're such a hack. How many chances do you get after that? Oh, I almost bought a new iPhone last night. Guess I'm going back to Samsung. Oh, good Lord. You don't think that the Android store is going to put Parler back on too? They kind of follow whatever the Apple store does. Good Lord, you crazy people. So Sleeping Giants is a joke. And then here's a radical idea, First Amendment. Great. Is there something in here about Apple's terms of service? Not seeing it. Hey, just because you're a wannabe censorious shitbag, nobody cares what you say. Anyway, kind of funny that people are pissed about Parler. And let's see. Oh, Parler's revamped app will be allowed back on the Apple's App Store. Revamped. Ooh, revamped. So let's see. And not a lot of people talking about it. Or there are a lot of people talking about it. Oh, The Independent. Frank, plagued by launch issues as Parler returns to the App Store. Frank who? Oh, Mike Lindell says new free speech site hit by cyber attack on the first day of operation. Oh my God. You know, Mike, you might have wanted to really, really go heavy duty on the security. Is that what his app's called? Frank? I haven't even seen it. Hang on a second here. I hate The Independent, but I'll do this. Launch of Mike Lindell's new social media site, Frank, was hit with a cyber attack on the first day that prevented users from signing up. The MyPillow CEO posted a video on the site saying that users would be able to sign up for it sometime today after it was plagued with technical difficulties. As soon as the site launched on Monday morning, it showed a 502 area, followed quickly by the site showing a 500 internal service area. After that, the site could not be accessed, and Mr. Lindell posted on Parler that the Frank website was having a massive attack. So they are really going after Mike Lindell. I mean, they've gotten him kicked out of most of the stores that MyPillow sells in. And if you've ever watched like any of the big conservative side YouTubers, they're advertising on those sites and they're trying to help out. But I know that every time I watch a Hodge Twins video, they seem to be on there. I hate the independent because all these pop-ups even now are just terrible. Anyway, gang, that's really about it. I didn't really mean to do a stream this afternoon. I just wanted to let you know about Brian Sicknick. And so that's going to be it. Hey, as you know, I normally stream Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. If you're awake, join me then. And if you're not, you can always watch the replays. But hey, thanks for dropping in. I got to go. My name's Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.